Guys! Today I thought I'd film a bit of a chatty get ready with me kind of video because I've really been enjoying watching them at the moment, and I've got the new... oh, I'm gonna sneeze. I think I'm better. I've got the new Rimmel Insta range, so I was gonna kind of like talk through bits about that as well as doing my makeup basically. So today's like a really casual day. I've not been very well and it's actually the evening now, so I've got my light on. I've got a completely different backdrop because basically I wanted to use my desk to actually be able to have a mirror on it and have my makeup on it. So I didn't want to film on my bed, but I couldn't get my light in front of my desk because it's in front of the window. So here we are, there's my bookshelves and lots of laundry because adulting. So yeah, let's get cracking really. As you can see, I've got like, well, I don't know how well you can see, but my skin is horrific at the moment and it's really kind of starting to grate on me a bit, and by a bit I mean like I'm not very happy with it at all. So just gonna get everything ready and then actually get going, because I prepared really well for this video. Tonight's one of my nights off because I work in a restaurant, so sometimes, oh well, a lot of the time actually it feels like I do work in the evenings. So this is what I'm going to put on, oh actually no it's not. This is what I'm going to put on first. It's the Rimmel London new Insta Fix and Go 2-in-1 primer and setting spray. By the way, this is not an ad. I did get sent the Rimmel stuff, but they haven't asked me to film a video with it or anything. It was just sent to me to have a look at and have a try. But I'm really enjoying it, so I thought I'd include it as I am actually using it in my makeup bag at the moment. This kind of smells like watermelons and it's been really refreshing because it's been so hot recently. So, that's so nice. Righty, and now I've popped that on, I'm going to use my number 7 Beautifully Matte Foundation, which has SPF 15, and it's just really nice for my skin. Before I was using, I think, oh, it was the L'Oreal True Match Perfection, and it was kind of like, it got really cakey because I've got combination skin and I do have dry patches, whereas this doesn't kind of cake into my skin as much. And I've got my Real Techniques brush as well, which really needs to be cleaned. I've actually been thinking about my, I've got the Real Techniques blender sponge, like the kind of copycat of the beauty blender, and I've had it for so long that I'm kind of scared that I'm going to cut it in half and it's going to be filled with mould. And now I kind of want to cut it in half and see if it's filled with mould, but then I'd have to go and buy a new one and money is very tight at the moment, to say the least. I saw somebody tweeting the other day about how nobody really talks about not having very much money, but I feel like when they do, then whatever you spend, it kind of, people kind of critique you on it, saying like, oh well, you've just bought this and blah blah. Like, I know a lot of people look at, like a lot of my family members kind of look at my Instagram and like, oh my god, she's always buying new makeup, but I'm not. It's things that I actually get sent, and this isn't like, oh my god, I get sent so many things. I don't, but if I do talk about makeup, if I talk about new Rimmel makeup, it's usually because I've been sent it. I just don't have the money to go out and buy lots of new makeup all the time at the moment. And I had a big holiday earlier in the year, so that kind of, I spent most of my money on that, and then I'm saving up to take my sister away for her 21st. So I've got better things to spend it on of the little I have. So next up, I'm gonna do my eyes before I like actually finish my base, kind of just so I give the foundation a moment to settle in before I start putting things on top of it. So this is the Naked 3 palette by Urban Decay, and I love it. As you can see, like, I use it quite often and I always use the brush in it as well. So I think I'm going to go for like a fairly, not too dark, but a fairly kind of coppery colour. I very rarely actually do kind of all of the makeup videos that I actually have made, which there's not really that many of. I always like fast forward over it and just completely blitz past it because it takes me ages to put on my makeup and I feel really uncomfortable like talking sometimes about the makeup and everything. So this is a first and I really hope you guys actually do like it. It feels like it's been ages since I've sat down and filmed something, but it's been obviously less time since I've uploaded, and I've got a big book haul on its way. I just obviously need to edit it and upload it, which is hard to find the time for. Well, it's not hard, but I've got it scheduled to go up, but it's just not up yet. So next up, I'm going to put on my Kat Von D tattoo liner in the colour, I believe, Trooper. I'm not a big eyeliner pro, so please forgive me. And this is going to be quite a like raw video in comparison to some of my videos. I know I don't very often do like masses of editing because that's kind of never like, I prefer watching vlogs and videos that are kind of a bit more natural. So it's kind of like my personal preference in what I like, so that's what I do. But I do usually edit out bits where, like this bit, where I completely messed up my eyeliner. Just to kind of make it a bit more smooth, and because I feel a bit self-conscious putting up like, this is my makeup video, and then messing up the makeup in it. I feel like people could be quite harsh and critical. I haven't really ever had anybody be harsh and critical to me, like on my blog or my YouTube. Well, to me they have, in person, just random things throughout life, but not on my blog or on my YouTube. I haven't really received any kind of hate comments or anything, but there's always time for firsts. I think it's just because my channel's so tiny that nobody really has the time to put in the effort to like hate on me because they're not going to get a reaction from other people. But I don't really understand why people do it anyway, because it's just kind of a waste of time. So this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade and my NYX eyebrow pencil. Oh, it's not a pencil, it's a brush. That's definitely a brush. It's one with like the angled end. Also, I'm really conscious of the fact that I do say like quite a bit. I'm looking this way because that's where my mirror is as well. But it's just something that I've always done and it really aggravates people. But what can you do? It's a subconscious thing. I don't really realise I'm saying it until after it's come out, and then if I apologise for it repeatedly, it's just gonna take up so much time. So here's my one and only apology for saying it all the time. There's been like a lot of drama in the kind of like on Twitter recently with a lot of bloggers where like, I don't know, people have decided it's kind of okay, like you have to support every single other blogger whilst they're small, but once they get big it's okay to just completely hate on them. And there was a whole thing about Lydia Millen. She tweeted something that really aggravated a lot of people, and there were like even whole blog posts written kind of critiquing what she says and what she does, and it's just putting so much of your energy into such a negative thing that I think it's completely pointless. I get annoyed by people, obviously, because who doesn't? But if I think they're wrong or are like insulting a group of people or something like that, I will tweet at them and say, here's a different point of view. But I just don't think there's any point in investing so much of your time into somebody you don't like. But not everybody, I know like a lot of people don't think like that, but that's what I think. So this is another one of the new Insta products, it's the Conceal and Correct one, and it's got a red or kind of orangey colour for dark circles, a green for redness, and a purple for dullness. So there's a little kind of, I don't know how well you can see it, but there's a little, what's the word, picture on the back to show you where to put things. And I get really bad dark circles under my eyes, so I'm just going to pop it on and then blend it in. Righty, this isn't me blending it in yet, don't you worry guys. And so then there's another one for redness, which I get on my cheeks. So that's my little air freshener, because I used to have the hamsters in here. By used to, I mean up until about a week ago. And they, because they're babies, they kind of kept like putting out loads of their scent. They were living in a new place and all of that kind of jazz. So I've got that, and then we moved them downstairs earlier this week just because I wanted a bit more room in here. I've got my big lights in here now, as I mentioned before, which I feel like I've mentioned about 30 times, so sorry about that. But I've got them in here, and it just means that there was hardly any floor space with these two massive cages. So this is like the one for dullness that I'm smudging out now. And obviously you can still see there's like a lot of purple on my face, so it takes a little while to get all rubbed in. And I'm really sorry about how dirty my beauty blender is. It's just life. Who has time to clean their makeup sponges? I mean, not me. And I know this is like a really informal video, but I'm really enjoying it actually. But yeah, my blog is definitely a lot more informal. Like, I feel there's a lot less pressure because I've been blogging for quite a while now, and it's not, a lot of bloggers do kind of curate their blog posts completely, but I never have done, whereas I feel like pretty much all YouTubers do. So I kind of feel like I ought to, but this is really nice to do. And I was really worried that I'd not have anything to say, but I do. So you can kind of see it's mostly blended in now. I'm just gonna like give it a little touch up. It's been so hot here. I don't know how many of you guys are living in the UK or not, but it has been absolutely boiling here to kind of a really aggravating extent. So next up I'm going to use the Insta Conceal and Contour palette, I guess you'd call it. So there's a highlight, a conceal and a contour. I used the highlight the concealer the other day, and it's probably like not my favourite concealer I've ever used, but it's pretty good. I've got loads and loads of spots at the moment. I think it's got a lot to do with the fact that it has been so hot. My skin's kind of really been suffering with it, but I'm hoping that it's going to sort itself out soon. Because yeah, it's just like my pores are showing up a lot, and just everything's I used to very rarely get spots actually. Like in my teens I never really had a problem with spots, and now I feel really lucky because I've mentioned this 10,000 times, but I'm on a different kind of birth control pill now, and it has brought out my spots really badly. It's like the worst that I've ever had spots in my life, which is fun. So there's just kind of, there's so many of them all the time. I used to get the odd spot kind of in the lead up to my period, but now they're there all the time. There's like at least 4 or 5 all the time. They're in places that I've never had spots before. Kind of like, this is where I always used to get spots as a teen when I got them, but I kind of started getting them here around my hairline, which is very strange. and very unwelcome. So finally, on my kind of base, I'm going to use the Insta Fix and Matte translucent powder. It's got all these little hashtags in it which are quite cute. I don't know how well you can see them. And then an Eco Tools brush. So I'm just going to kind of dot it on. I don't really use setting powder, but I figured I may as well give it a go. And it's actually really been helping, especially because I felt like I was just melting my makeup off in this heat, and now I've got something to not do that with. But yeah, I quite like the Eco Tools brushes. They're cruelty-free ones, which I don't think the Real Technique ones are. And I'm kind of trying to think about doing more, using more cruelty-free products, because obviously there's just no need to test on animals when a lot of brands don't do it and they produce perfectly good products. It's just cruel. That's why it's called cruelty free. Righty, so I'm just going to use this as a setting spray. Oh, it feels so good. It's so nice and refreshing because I'm quite hot under that big light. So this has been a really chatty get ready with me. I've really enjoyed filming it and I hope you enjoyed watching it. This is kind of my go-to daily look at the moment, and I know my hair's kind of, the roots are completely coming through, but I'm actually going to grow it out and just go back to my natural colour. So that's why, yeah, this is what I wear on a day-to-day basis, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you did, and I will see you soon. Bye!